Good morning, Energy Express. It's your pal Joel here. Are you ready to have some fun this morning? Let's go to our friend Mitch and learn all about Michael Recycle.
Hello, my name is Mitch. I am a WVU STEM ambassador, a part of the WVU Extension program and the Mylan STEMCARE program. I'm a student at WVU. I'm a junior this year. So today we're going to be reading over a book called Michael Recycle, and we will be bringing it into an activity that is one of the Mylan STEMCARE booklets, and it's called the Marshmallow Catapult. Try this at home experiment. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started with the reading. So, Michael Recycle. There was once a town called Aberdew-Rhymy, where garbage was left to grow rotten and slimy. It never smelled fresh. The air was all hazy, but the people did nothing. They got rather lazy. And then something happened that no one could explain. It wasn't a bird, and it wasn't a plane. A green-caped crusader soared through the air with a colander hat on top of his hair. He bounced off the earth with a thump and a bump, and then landed headfirst in the town garbage dump. He brushed off the suit as he jumped to his feet and grinned at the townsfolk who'd he come to meet. I'm Michael Recycle, and I have a plan, but I need your help, everyone to a man. The sky and the river are smelly and brown. Soon 50-foot bugs will take over your town. You've got to recycle. You've got to act soon, before all your trash reaches up to the moon. Then, crushing a can, he gave them a wink and vanished from sight before they could blink. Miss Mooncotch exclaimed to her friend Mr. Crew, "Did you happen to hear what that boy said to do? Clean up and recycle. How hard can it be? A green and clean town would be lovely to see." They recycled their paper, their plastic and cans, and even old junk like used pots and pans. They also began the Be Greener campaign. They grew their own kumquats and saved up the rain. So proud was the town of their green transformation. They threw a great party, a grand celebration. They covered the town in green toilet paper, then rolled it back up to use again later. You may think that's yucky, but these folks don't agree. In Aberdew-Rhymy, recycling is key. When Michael came back to visit the town, he didn't despair, get angry, or frown. Look at our town. It gleams and glitters. Now nothing's wasted and nobody litters. To Michael Recycle, the green-caped crusader, our super green hero, the planet's new savior. But Michael Recycle was nowhere around. He'd already moved on to help another town. So if you should see a green silhouette streaking the skies, please don't get upset. The noises you hear, that clunk and thunk, is just our friend Michael recycling old junk. That finishes the story. So this book kind of pairs into the activity that I'm about to explain, the Marshmallow Catapult, because just like how Michael Recycle used all sorts of things and encouraged the town to recycle, especially old things, this kit is made from very simple things such as popsicle sticks and spoons, and it's actually very easy to make even if you don't have a kit like this. So I'm going to do a little bit of a demo on how you can put it together and kind of talk about how it works and stuff like that. So, if you happen to have one of these booklets, you can follow along, but if not, you can just follow the steps that I give you, and it should be pretty easy. So, inside these kits, it comes with popsicle sticks, some pom-poms, a spoon, and some rubber bands. So, to set up your catapult, The first step says you should stack 5 to 8 craft sticks together and tightly twist a rubber band around each end. So I'm going to grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, like that. Make sure you tie a rubber band on both sides so that it's nice and snug. And like I said earlier, you don't have to have popsicle sticks, you don't have to have a spoon, you don't have to have pom-poms. You could use pieces of cardboard, you could use pieces of plastic, just about anything that you have around the house. Okay, so that's the first part like that. Okay, the next one says you should stack 2 craft sticks together and wrap a rubber band around, tightly only on one end. And it says make sure it's wrapped very tightly. So if we take 2 sticks, put them together like this, and just wrap a rubber band around one end, like so, until it gets nice and snug. Okay, so once you got that, you'll have it on one end, you should be able to open it up like this. And sometimes it's easier to scoot it down as far to the end as you can get, so it'll open up like this. Okay, and the next thing you should be doing is you're going to open this up, and then you're going to put the stick you made first inside, so it looks like this. And as you can see, I kind of have a demo here on the side that's already finished, and you can see how it's beginning to kind of take part. Okay, so this is going to act as a fulcrum or a pivoting point that's going to allow us to eventually shoot a marshmallow or a pom-pom or anything you have. Okay, now this isn't very secure, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take 2 rubber bands and we're going to make a cross. So I'm going to start from this side, kind of take this rubber band around and make a diagonal on this intersection. Kind of get it like this. Make sure your rubber bands are super tight, because the tighter they are, the longer you can shoot things, which is always fun. Okay, I'll leave it at that. And then do the same thing on the other side, so you'll have an X. Kind of looking like this. Okay, now we should look something like this. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your spoon and you're going to attach it to this side of the catapult you got going on. As you can see, if you kind of start to push down on this, it's kind of bouncy. And we're going to explain how that works later on. And you can put it as high up as you want, you can put it lower down, you can see how the different positions you place it in will change the launch distance with your pom-poms. Like so. Make sure this spoon is on super tight. Wrap that rubber band around a bunch of times. And like I said, I'm just following along the steps in this booklet. And then once you do this, you're pretty much set. I have 2 extra popsicle sticks, so I can kind of put those wherever I want. But it should, if I put a pom-pom down here and then push it down, holding my hand on this side, it'll shoot a pom-pom like that. So this is the very basic way to make it. But the good thing about this is this isn't the way you have to make it. You can make it however you want. You can put more popsicle sticks on this part. You can put more on this. You can make this one longer or anything. So it's a very unique experiment because you can kind of make it however you want to and see how it ends up being different. But anyways, this is cool and all, but how does this work? So pretty much this catapult is a good explanation of energy transfer. So what happens, and you can kind of read about this if you have the booklet too, but what will happen is there will become a large amount of potential energy when you pull this spoon down. And that's because it's still, it has potential. It's not doing anything yet, so it has potential or stored energy at this point. And when you pull it down, it gets to that maximum point of potential energy. And then when you launch it, that energy is converted into kinetic energy, which is the energy of motion. and that's what causes it to flick up like that. And the kinetic energy is which launches the spoon and then will launch the pom-pom. So that's a little bit of a background on how this all works. So the tension, when you pull it back, ends up becoming potential energy that goes into kinetic, launches the pom-pom. A little bit of physics right there. But that's about it. Like I said, you can do about just anything with this. You can use other items too to make it bigger or smaller and make it look complex. If you are interested in this activity or other activities that may be similar to this, you can visit the STEMCARE website to look for more information and stuff that's related to that. But thank you for joining.
Up next, we have International Show and Tell with our friend Alex. Take it away, Alex.
I am Alex Kaufman. I'm the Grant County 4-H agent. So you may be in another county right now watching this, but I wanted to say hello because I'm here to talk to you about international and global travel. I have traveled a lot. Some of you may have never traveled outside of the state or maybe the country. Some of you may have. But I'm here to talk to you a little bit about it because there are a lot of awesome things out in the world today. So I mostly wanted to show you some cool things. You may notice that I'm dressed a little silly because I have a lot of things on that I've gotten in my travels to other countries. So today, I mostly want to tell you about all the cool stuff that I've been able to get on my travels. Now, you don't want to travel just to get stuff because there's plenty of stuff here, but it's neat because there are a lot of different stuff out there. So sometimes you are maybe going to get things you get to wear like I have on right now. I'm going to show you some other things like food or things you can put in your house. And all these things are neat and they remind me of my wonderful travels abroad to different countries. So let's jump right in, and then I'm going to have an activity for you to do as well. So the first thing you might notice is my hat. I love hats, and I actually got this hat in Venice, Italy. So if you've heard of Italy, Venice is the town that has lots of boats in it. They actually don't have any cars in their town. They only travel via boat through their canals and through, so instead of roads, they have little rivers that they paddle through, and people also walk. And it's a beautiful city, and I got this hat, much like their boat rowers wear, to wear out in the sun because it's warm in Italy. You can probably also see my earrings here dangling. I got these earrings in Belgium. So you may not have heard of Belgium, maybe you have. Sometimes people talk about it when they talk about good chocolate and that sort of thing, but it's a little country in Europe. And this is the color of their flag, black, gold, and red. It's also the same color of the German flags, but the Belgian flag is in a different shape. So sometimes flags look a little bit similar, but they're all different for every country. So if you're interested in flags, we'll move along to what's behind me. I have a Polish flag here. So I actually lived in Poland for a little bit, and this is their flag. It usually doesn't say Polska, but that's the word for Poland in Polish. So this one says Polska, and I got this flag. They have their coat of arms there, and their colors are red and white. And so Poland's another country in Europe. Maybe in West Virginia you've heard of pierogies. That's one of their biggest foods over there, so they also eat pierogies. And the reason we know them here is because there were a lot of people from Poland who moved to the United States and to West Virginia. Still today, but a lot of them moved back last century, and they brought their food with them. Also talking about Poland, I have on this sports jersey. And what Europeans call football is what Americans call soccer. So in Europe, they love soccer. It's their favorite sport, and I got to be there when they had a giant tournament in Poland. So it's called the Euro Cup. It's one of their biggest tournaments, and this is a sports jersey from when I went to the game. So I got to see Poland play Russia and several other countries, and it was a very exciting time. Some other things I want to show you that aren't just clothing that I've gotten from other countries. This is a soda bottle from Thailand, and you can see their writing is very different than ours because they use a different alphabet. So there's the Thai alphabet, and this is a little bit what it looks like. So this is a soda water bottle. I also have gifts that people have brought me from other countries. This is a turtle made from a native wood in Paraguay, which is down in South America. So we live in North America, and Paraguay is down in South America. So it's on a different continent. And my brother lived there, and he brought me back this turtle because I love turtles. Also, speaking of gifts, my friend brought me back this beautiful seed bracelet. It looks like beads, but they're actually red seeds from Peru. So sometimes, even if you haven't got to go anywhere, sometimes your friends will go somewhere and bring you back a gift from that place, which is really special. Moving right along, I have a lot of things in this house that are from different countries, and they're so exciting. I want to show them all to you. Down in Mexico, right below the United States, one of our closest countries, I got this really neat drink holder with a hand-stitched cactus on it because there are a ton of cactus down in Mexico. And this is one of the flat kind of cactuses. You may have seen them in the stores. They grow native down there. So that's a prickly pear cactus. They actually grow native in Grant County in West Virginia too, where I'm at. So that's pretty neat. This giant seashell that I have here, it's a conch shell, and I bought this in Haiti. You may have heard of Haiti. It's down in the Caribbean, so not too far from the United States, actually. It's a beautiful Caribbean island, and they have beautiful beaches and clear oceans and this seashell. So I bought that. Another gift I got, which is food. So sometimes you love to bring back food and drink. So my friend brought me some Australian honey. So even though we have honey in West Virginia, they have honey a lot of other places too. And this honey actually tastes a little different because they have different plants and bees that make it. So even though it's still honey, it's a little bit different because it's from a different place. Australia is really far away, which is fun because you get to ride on a plane for a super long time, and you wait and you get there and it's totally different. But it's pretty neat too. So there's so many great places around the world. I'll wrap up. I have a few more things, and then I have a challenge for you. This is a beautiful carved wooden box from Budapest, which is Hungary. It's a country in Europe called Hungary, but it's not spelled the same as when you want to eat food, Hungary. But it's a beautiful Eastern European country that's really neat. This is fish more gifts my father brought back for me, and it's this cool, clear lucite. And this is a rock that's found in Russia. And so they make a lot of different animals out of this. So it's pretty neat to have that little thing. So now I'll show you some examples, and then when you turn this video off, I want you to go find some and show them to your parents or your brother or sister or whoever's in the house with you, okay? So just because you haven't gone anywhere doesn't mean there aren't international things in your house too, okay? So I have here, I've never been to China, but I do have some Chinese tea. This is a little Chinese tea set that they use because they like to brew tea in very small amounts and sip it. Unlike our big mugs that we see here, they do it differently. So I have some Chinese tea here. So even though I haven't been to China, I have some Chinese tea because we buy things from all over the world all the time. So another thing you might have, I'll give you a couple more examples, we're almost done. this is chocolate, right? Anyone like dark chocolate or chocolate? This company, Lindt, is a Swiss company. So even though I've never been to Switzerland, I still have Swiss company chocolate in my house because this is a brand that you can buy at Walmart or, you know, Shop and Save because it's a very big, popular brand, but the company is from Switzerland. So that's something I have in my house that I didn't have to travel to go get. One more thing, sometimes you don't even think of it, but a lot of our spices that we use are actually not from the United States. So this is allspice. I don't know if you've heard of it. You might ask your parents, but we use it in a lot of different dishes, and this is from Jamaica. So this allspice came up from around where I was talking about where Haiti was. Jamaica is also in the Caribbean. So it comes up from that. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through your house and maybe ask your parents or maybe look yourself. Sometimes you can find it on the back where it says, you know, company in Switzerland. Look for something that's from another country, and then I want you to share it with someone. And the very last thing I'll say is it's very possible that there's some sort of travel book in your house. It can be, I have this one called 500 Places to Visit. With all these pictures. Maybe yours is an encyclopedia. Maybe it's a book on how to travel to a different country. So I want you to find one thing that's from a different country that you didn't travel to, and one book that has something, some picture of a cool country that maybe you want to visit someday. So go and find these two things in your house and share them with your parents or with your siblings, and I'll see you later. Happy travels.
Hey guys, do you like my wig? Ha! It's not really a wig, it's a filter. Let's go to our friend Lily and read a book called Bee-Wigged.
Hi guys, my name is Lily. I'm here with Mon County Energy Express through AmeriCorps, and I'm going to be reading Bee-Wigged by Cece Bell. Bee-Wigged. Hi there. Jerry Bee loved people. But people did not love Jerry Bee. For one thing, he was a bee. For another, he was the most enormous bee anyone had ever seen. A sting from a bee Jerry's size would really hurt. So, people stayed away. It's true that Jerry was quite large, but he had never stung anyone in his entire life. In fact, he tried hard to make friends, but nothing worked. One morning, Jerry saw an old wig lying on the sidewalk. Why not? Thought Jerry, and he put the wig on his head. Just then, he heard a bus driver shout, "Young man, you're late for school." The bus driver stopped her bus, opened the door, and hollered, "Get in!" Jerry got on the bus. Wow, this wig makes me look just like a boy. As Jerry looked at himself in the mirror, he had a wonderful thought. If he looked like a boy instead of a bee, maybe people would finally like him. When the bus stopped, Jerry made a beeline for the school. He couldn't wait to make friends with all the people inside. Jerry entered the first classroom he could find. "Excuse me, ma'am," he said. "My name is Jerry, and I would love to join your wonderful class. And might I add that you are looking quite lovely today?" Mrs. Swan was the first friend that Jerry made that day. The students really liked Jerry too. He was helpful, funny, artistic, and generous. He was even a terrific speller. By the end of the day, Jerry Bee had more friends than he had ever had in his life. So Jerry decided to come to school every day, and every day he made more friends. One day, he helped the janitor mop. The next day, he complimented the lunch ladies on their food. He inspired the cheerleaders with his remarkable team spirit. He even won over the bus driver. By the end of the week, everyone loved Jerry so much, they made him the grand marshal in the school parade. Jerry B was ecstatic. He couldn't believe how much the wig had changed his life. Do you see Jerry B? But then, the wind started blowing. Hard. The wind blew Jerry's wig right off his head. He tried to catch it, but he was too late. Everyone saw Jerry without the wig, and everyone saw he was the most enormous bee that they had ever seen. How do you think Jerry feels right now? Wait! Shouted a voice. Please wait! It was the wig. Do you see his face? I am Wiglet, a very hairy guinea pig. I have had the honor of sitting on Jerry's head for a whole week. Yes, Jerry is a bee. Yes, Jerry is enormous, but I have never seen Jerry sting anyone. Jerry is helpful, funny, artistic, and generous. I am proud to call Jerry my best friend ever. Everyone was quiet. And then, hooray for Jerry B! Hooray for Wiglet! Hip, hip, hooray! Everyone shouted. It was the best day of Jerry B's life. At last, he could be himself and have friends. And Wiglet would be his best friend forever. The end. So that was Bee-Wigged by CC Bell.
Hey, Energy Express friends, did you have a fun day? I know I did. Well, we'll see you again soon for more fun and more activities. Have a good one. Bye-bye.